Okay. A very good day to our Miss Davis. So today we're going to do our group presentation, which is based on our assignment too. So our chosen topic was dangerous level of traffic and bad parking around the primary schools. Let me introduce my group members. Myself, my name is Shamita M. Akbardin, and we have Bhuneshwari and Vignesha. So moving on to the introduction about our group title. So Miss Bhuneshwari will explain more about it.
Thank you, Shamita. Well, as we all know, traffic is bad and also dangerous to all. Our group has chosen the dangers of traffic in primary school. So there are many different types of side effects caused by the traffic in primary schools, which we will discuss soon. Next slide. Wicked problems. Well, children's safety is very important. Children are our next generation. What we teach them now is what they will learn and teach their next generation. So, leading them by example is the best way to show them that even small things like following the line, obeying rules can make life for many people around us easy and fast. Next slide, please.
Okay,
Right, next slide. Yeah, I'll continue with Vignesha.
okay. Thank you, Miss Bhuneshwari. So I'll be talking about design thinking and the process of it. Design thinking is a problem-solving approach that focuses on understanding the needs of users, generating creative solutions, and also testing and refining the solution through iterative process. It is possible to analyze, define and suggest, evaluate solutions for the problem of unsafe traffic levels and poor parking near elementary school by using human-centered problem-solving method of design thinking. Iterative problem solving, creativity, and empathy are all fostered by this approach. We came up with a series of solutions in our pitching by group discussion and giving out our opinions as well as going through some research. So here you can see a small diagram about what is the design thinking process that we are going to talk about based on our pitching. Next slide. Moving on the first part of the diagram, which is empathy. Empathy is the first step in design thinking. It is because the skill that allows us to understand and share the same feelings that others feel. Through empathy, we can put ourselves in other people's shoes and connect with how they might feel about their problems, circumstances, or even situations. Based on our pitch, we need to understand the needs and experiences of the main stakeholders such as parents, kids, teachers, members of the governments, and so on. Gather information about their viewpoints on parking and traffic problems by conducting surveys, observations, and interview. The reason for this stage of design thinking is to clarify the issue. We can define the specific problems and difficulties that each stakeholder group is facing, considering the research, and also recognize the underlying causes of traffic and parking problems. The second stage in design thinking will be defined. This is the development of innovation that enables us to create an end user centered solution for single problem. Make a complex issue explanation that catches the fundamental issue like how might we diminish gridlocked and dangerous stopping around elementary school to guarantee security of children during drop off and pick up times. By this point, we can work up with workshops for idea generation by bringing out stakeholders together for sessions to generate potential solutions. And the third stage will be, next slide please. Design thinking would be ideal. Ideation is a creative process in which designers produce ideas during sessions such as brainstorming. So based on our pitching, brainstorming holds a variety of stakeholders to produce a wide range of alternatives. Put quantity before quality at this point. It helps us to create an inexpensive, low fidelity prototypes of viable ideas through prototyping. This can involve short-term adjustments to parking spaces, signs, or even as traffic flows. And the fourth stage will be prototype. A prototype is a product that is created to test concepts and modification until it resembles to the finished item. On our pitching, test the prototypes by putting them into a limited scale and getting output from the stakeholders. Decide which elements of the solution are working well and which ones requires improvement. This approach entails creating an early affordable scaled down version of the product highlight and issues and with the present design. Next slide. The fifth stage is test. Teams working on product development, design, and prototype evaluation. Use the improved solution as a larger scale pilot project. Keep eye on the effects of the safety stakeholder certification and also the traffic flow. Gather information to estimate the success of the pilot project. Use both quantitative and qualitative data. Indicators to track include decreased traffic congestion, increased kid safety, and also stakeholder satisfaction. And the last stage of design thinking would be implement and evaluate. Test the prototypes with the stakeholders involved. Collect feedback through surveys, observations, and interviews. We have refined our solution based on our feedback, work with the school administration, local authorities, and communities members to implement the solution. So what we can do is continuous monitoring. Keep a mechanism in place of tracking and assessing the effectiveness of the solution. And another point we could do is data-driven decision making. Utilize data gathering during and after implementation to judge the solution effectiveness and the long-term effects. Work together with the local government officials and enforcements to maintain the infrastructure of the traffic and to ensure the parking rules are properly enforced. And next will be I'll be talking about decision making. So decision making is the process of making choices by identifying decision, gathering information, and assessing alternative solutions. What we have done is the firstly would be about multi-criteria decision analysis (MCDA). Using both qualitative and quantitative consideration, MCDA entails comparing alternatives based on several criteria such as safety, traffic flow, environmental impact, and also like community opinion. Each can be given weight by the stakeholders. The most appropriate course of action to be chosen with this have a framework which guarantees a thorough review of all the viable solutions. And secondly, how we could design a risk assessment framework. To identify potential threats and their effects, do a thorough risk assessment. Determine the risk connected with the parking and also the traffic problems to prioritize the solutions that will have the biggest impact on lowering hazards and enhancing the safety. How we have decided based on our pitching is, which is based on the vote and vivo system. The finalized solution from the pitching would be implementing a designated drop-off and pick-up zone with a clear time slot. Next slide, please. Following by, I'll talk about the problem, conflicts, and also the solution of it. As a group, definitely as a leaders, all of us will have our differences. So the first differences would be is time zone variation. When team members are dispersed across different time zones, it might be difficult to collaborate and communicate in real time. Making decisions might be delayed. Hence, scheduling meetings, getting fast responses, and organizing tasks becomes challenging. And secondly is different communication styles. As technology limits can all obstruct successful communication, in addition to time zone differences, making decisions based on insufficient or erroneous information is possible when there has been a breakdown in communication or lack of clarity. So the solution for these problems would be, firstly, is flexible meeting times. Change the time of the meeting by scheduling software that displays several time zones. Recurring meetings should be scheduled at various time zones to avoid constantly inconveniencing any team members. Secondly is norms for clear communication. Establish precise communication standards, including chat and messages and response times. To reduce miscommunication, promote the use of direct and intangible language. And lastly is continual check-in. Hold frequent online conference to discuss decision, difficulties, and progress. Use these gatherings to update the team members, share knowledge, and promote fellowship. By this, we will have a reduced problems and conflicts as a team leaders. And by this, I'll pass it to the next member.
Thank you, Miss Bhuvanesha and Miss Vignesha. And I'm going to explain about the emotional intelligence and empathy and also the preservation and diplomacy. First, we look at the emotional intelligence and empathy. So this ability of the people, so particularly we can say parents, guardians, teachers, and also the school staff, to understand the effectively manage their emotion of these circumstances is referred as a emotional intelligence. So it is the particularly important in the areas where there is a dangerous traffic and a poor parking, such as the around the primary schools area. It causes a variety of ability and action, includes that we can say self-awareness, empathy, and a problem solving. So first we look at the self-awareness is being aware of one of our feelings and a response to the tumultuous, dangerous parking and also the traffic situation near the schools. Acknowledging the frustration, impatience, or the anxiety may fall under this category. Understanding the feelings, the viewpoints of the others who are impacted by the traffic and the parking problems require empathy. So this includes taking into the account of anxiety or worries of the parents, teachers, and the nearby schools. The next slide. And is I'm gonna this one I'm gonna explain about the empathy. So empathy is a share and throw to the throw and a share to the thoughts and the perspective of the people who are impacted by the dangerous traffic and the poor parking nearby the primary schools. It's also referred as an empathy. In the detail, being aware of the empathizing with the feelings and the experiences of the various stakeholders, including parents, children, teachers, and the neighborhoods who might be impacted by the dangerous parking and the traffic situations. So we can say that considering the children's safety. So empathy also extends to understanding the safety concern of the children walking to the former school in such as a condition. Empathizing the individual recognize to the fear or discomfort children may experience when they're crossing the busy street and negotiating through poorly parked vehicles. So understanding the parents' concern. So compensation with the people can understand the stress and annoyance parents may uh, um, people that the experience while negotiating the closed roads and trying to find the parking. They can put themselves in the position at the parents and attempting to protect and the care of the kids. Next, advocating for the solution. So advocating for solution is the empathy goes beyond the conversation and includes the taking the initiative. Empathy people may be inspired to collaborate with the school, committee, and the local authorities to find the answer that take into the account the worries and the need to for all the parties involved. Discuss this okay so okay, the first stage of the being the design thinking process often refer as the empathize stages where the designer and the problem solve the aim to gain the profound understanding of the problem and the people affected by it. So while discussed with the group, so we found out the two main points, which is survey and questionnaire, and also the empathy prototyping. So survey and questionnaires to gather the information and the feedback from the parents, teachers, and the local residency who are live nearby the schools. And school administration, local authorities, and the concerned committee members may conduct the survey or questionnaire. So the feelings, they can also try to tell their feelings, worries, and experience to these stakeholders can be better captured by this survey. So design the teams may create by the empathy prototypes or the scenarios to be represent the experience of the people negotiating the traffic and the parking issues. Next, I'm going to explain about the preservation and diplomacy. First, we're looking at the preservation. Preservation is more to recognizing the challenge, understanding the situ issues, understanding the issues at the hand in the great details is the first step to effectively preservation. In this situation, it's critical to understand the specific problems, such as identify the target audience and offering positive initiatives. So the target, looking at the target audience for the any preservation effort should be taken into the consideration. Parents, caretakers, teachers, local neighbors, and even the kids might be fall under this category. The preservation strategy must be taken into account to concern the motivation that each group may have. So looking at offering positive initiatives, offering reward to savor the driving and the parking, habits that can be a part of preservation. Parents who constantly obey the traffic laws and by the obey the traffic laws for example, we can say it could be rewarded to the programs put in the place by the local and school authorities. While we looking at the diplomacy is referred to the skills and the practices of resolving and also effectively through to the use of the negotiating, communication, and other conflict resolution techniques. Finding the solution for the benefits both parties and improves the safety while discussion and detailed collaboration with a variety of stakeholders such as parents, school staff, local authorities, and committee members. So we can say that for the 3 points, we can say that identify the stakeholders, building this relationship, and negotiating. So first we look at the identify the stakeholders. Diplomacy begins by the identifying all the patient stakeholders who have to interest in or are impacted by the parking and the traffic problems near the primary schools. Parents, educators, students, locals, neighbors, or of the transport system, and also law enforcement organizing may be fall under this category. So, while looking at the negotiating is a crucial component of negotiating. Finding the compromises is a crucial component. Finding the compromises and the trade of the certified the requirements and the various parties while taking the traffic follow and safety concern into the account is required. Really, relationship building is essentially to be a success of diplomacy and also can be build a trust and a desire to work together. This called as be honest. Next, what is the use when you were diplomating your pitch? Okay. I can say yes to each and every point. This action that we may taken in the preservation, asking for the advice for all the parties involved in what diplomacy is the details. And the last one, okay. Think about the decision-making process when you may not you may not all have agree on the same solution and to discuss this. If you all agree, then you will need to discuss what will have happened if you had not. Okay. Okay, I can say that for all the concepts have been approved by our groups, if there is still disagreement, so as they say, back to the drawing board in the near future. So we will need to reconsider how to improve our arrow and make it right. So for following slide, I would like to pass to Miss Bhuvaneshwari, explain about the interdisciplinary and disciplinary and also the multidisciplinary.
Thank you very much, Shamita. Interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary teams. Introduction. A cooperative group of experts who work together to address the complex and multifaceted issues relating to parking problems and traffic safety near schools to the concept of disciplinary teams. The main goal of this team, which is made up of individuals with a variety of knowledge, skills, and perspective, is to improve mobility and safety close to primary school. Describing a multidisciplinary team, a group of professionals from different disciplines and fields who work together to address a specific issue or project like improving safety and traffic control near primary school. A multidisciplinary team differs from an interdisciplinary team in that each team members uphold their disciplinary boundaries and contribute their specialized knowledge to address various aspects of the problem. Next slide, please. Global multidisciplinary teams that address risky traffic and poor parking near primary school are essential for promoting safety and exchanging best practices on a global scale. Advocacy and awareness. These teams can educate the public about the need for better traffic safety, laws, and lobby international organizations like the United Nations and regional bodies to give give school zone safety top priority monitoring and evaluation. International teams can set benchmark and key performance indicators to track the development of the traffic safety around the schools. Regular evaluation can aid in identifying intervention success and need correction. Interdisciplinary teams are leading the change in resolving the urgent problem of hazardous traffic and poor parking near primary school. Next slide, please. The safety and well-being of children and community are significantly at risk due to this challenge, necessitating creative solutions that take many different aspects into account. Interdisciplinary teams made up of experts from various fields provide a particularly beneficial method for design thinking and decision making. While looking at multidisciplinary team is a difficult problem that needs to be solved quickly. Since young student safety is in danger, this problem seriously disrupts our communities. Multidisciplinary team made up of specialists from various fields and domains show great promise in advancing efficient design thinking and decision making. Next slide, please. In conclusion, we should reduce the traffic problem in primary school so that our children will learn how to live in the future. As I said in the introduction, what we show them is what our little next generation will carry forward to the future. Primary school is the place where they learn good and bad. Secondary school is where they test good and bad. And college and university is where they decide which path to choose. Either good, bad, I don't care, or let's go. So let us teach our children to avoid traffic in as many orderly manner, so when they grow up, they will follow rules which will make lives for other people around them easier. Next slide, please. Well, that's all from Vignesha, Shamita, and Bhuvneshwari. Thank you for your attention. Have a nice day.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.